We're recording. Holy smokes.
Isn't that something? Congratulations on your 110th Angel in the Wiz.
Yes, sir.
I'm very impressed.
Hi, America.
Hello, America. Welcome back. If you're back, and if this is your first time here, I hope you enjoyed enough to come back, because we care a lot.
Taken for granted, never ever wondered.
Isn't that something? Congratulations on your 110th Angel in the Wiz.
Yes, sir.
I'm very impressed.
Hi, America.
Hello, America. Welcome back. If you're back, and if this is your first time here, I hope you enjoyed enough to come back, because we care a lot. We're gonna do some of
Did you
these.
start the timer?
Yeah, we'll do. Yes, I did. We'll do, but I moved it. We'll do some of these if we can get to them. I have only 2 notes. Yeah, take a look at them, because some of them are cute.
This page.
Okay.
I'll read both.
I think you should have to have 2/3 of the vote of both houses of Congress to raise taxes. I think if you can't get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate to vote on raising taxes, you should not be able to raise taxes. And I think you should have to stop spending. I think I'm totally for a balanced budget. We spend way too much. I can't do it in my house. You shouldn't be able to do it in my house. Okay? It's our government. You work for us. I know that's a tough concept to get through, but you work for us. And I'm telling you, Gallagher said it right. He says, I don't want to overthrow the government. I want to fire it. Okay? And he's right. And I would say that Gallagher could do the Tonight Show with one hand. He's so funny. I was watching his tapes the other day, and he is just so funny, and he's satirical. His observations are just great. If you can see some Gallagher, you should see some Gallagher. So those are the 2 things that I wanted to say. You want to do some of them?
I don't know.
You don't like them?
Not particularly.
Oh, pick out any ones you want. These are some. My Aunt Pat, hi Aunt Pat, always sends me stuff. It says, if you have your parents' permission to go on a field trip or take an aspirin in school, but not to... Oh, yes. No, don't even read the last line. Each one of these ends with the sentence. If you have to get your parents' permission to go on a field trip or take aspirin in school, but not to get an abortion, you might live in a nation that was founded by geniuses, but it's now run by idiots. Now, that line... You might live in a nation founded by geniuses but run by idiots. I think that's a tagline on each of these observations. I think it's from Jeff Foxworthy. I didn't see it myself. But just listen to some of these things without that line at the end. If you have to show identification to board an airplane, cash a check, buy liquor, or check out a library book, but not to vote, who runs the government? How can that make sense? And you know what it implies? It implies that some minority people aren't capable of getting an ID. It's slanderous. I mean, it's absolutely slanderous. If I was Black America, I would be up in arms telling the Democrats, we want voter ID, and I'll have my own ID, thank you very much. And it's like they don't want any voter ID because they need all the votes they can, especially from those dead people in Chicago. They rely on them every year.
I will tell you, Chicago's a very corrupt city.
Well.
The state of Illinois, it's the only state where the governors eventually make their license plates.
Oh, that's good. You see anyone
That
you
was
want to
an
do?
issue,
You want me to do another one? And you don't have to. We don't need the tagline. All we need is the observation. If the government wants to ban stable, law-abiding citizens from owning gun magazines with more than 10 rounds, but gives 20 F-16 fighter jets to the crazy new leaders of Egypt.
That's
I mean,
kind of nuts.
you know what I mean? It's okay. Do you get where we're coming from? These little things there, that you got to ask yourself. You know, I don't like And I don't know what.
I'm gonna read this one.
Go ahead.
And then I'll tell you a story about a
Okay.
conversation. Hard work and success are met with higher taxes and more government intrusion, while not working is rewarded with EBT cards, WIC checks, Medicaid, subsidized housing, and free cell phones.
Oh.
So I had a student who came in one day and was bragging about his new Air Jordans.
Right.
Okay, now Air Jordans are expensive shoes.
Right.
Very hard to find them for less than $100.
Wow.
Okay,
Sneakers?
sneakers.
Whoa, man.
And then he says to me, "Miss, can I buy a pencil or can I borrow a pencil?" And I said, you have to give me 10 cents for the pencil." And what I did at the time is the kids would give me 10 cents, they can take the pencil, keep the pencil,
Right.
and then every month I would take that change and buy more pencils.
Right.
He goes, "Miss, I'm too poor I don't have 10 cents, I'm too poor." And I said, "Well, sweetheart, you might have to take back your new Air Jordans and go buy some pencils then, because you got your priorities mixed up."
Right.
And I said that to the student directly, and the assistant principal was standing next to me when I said this.
Right.
And the assistant principal laughed, and this
Right.
child looked at him like, "Why aren't you gonna discipline?"
Right,
You know,
right.
and the assistant principal was like, "She's right. Like, go sit down." You know, like,
Go, yeah.
What do you mean to say? So you can't come in bragging about you just spent over $100 on a pair of shoes, and then you tell me
But you couldn't afford a
can't-
pen,
you
a
can't
pencil.
Give me 10 cents to take a pencil.
Right.
So that annoys me. That really bugs me. I think a lot of the area that I used to work in was, impoverished kids. Some of them, like, there were families that needed the assistance. I don't deny that. There are families that need the assistance. There are families that abuse the system. And I think what's more and more in the public eye is the abusers, not the needers.
Right.
Because those that need the assistance want to no longer need it. It's
Right.
a pride thing. Cause it's
Yes, they
very,
don't want to need it. They don't
Yeah,
want to need it.
But then there's the ones that abuse
Just take it.
Yeah, and that annoys me.
And and the problem is,
It's one of the reasons why I don't go to Walmart, because I get so frustrated with these people buying
right.
all of this stuff, and I'm like, first off, if you're gonna be on WIC checks and EBT cards, which
Right.
is
electronic banking.
yeah, well that is
It's
food
welfare.
stamps. Yeah, it's the food stamps now.
Right.
They get these EBT cards.
Okay.
Like, if you're gonna do that, then they should really limit. There should be no potato chips,
Right.
no sodas. They can
Right.
buy water, they can buy Gatorade, they
Right.
can fruits and vegetables,
Right. Stuff that's good.
Meats, yeah. 'cause
No beer, no strip joints.
Yeah, like what you see is they get alcohol and chips and
Right.
and I'm like, that's
It's
so
wrong.
frustrating.
It's wrong. Is what it is, because it's
Yeah.
out of control. Why? Because you got people that have just started giving stuff away because they're buying votes. They're not teaching people to fish. They're handing them fish because they want them indebted to them. They do it on purpose. It's all about power. The only reason Obamacare was passed was because they were trying to take over our lives. They wanted to have power over our life and death. And I tell you, Obamacare will fall. Probably under its own weight, but it will not stand in America.
I don't think it's gonna fall. I think that
It's unworkable.
I think that in 3 years somebody new is gonna come in and just
It's
delete
gone.
the whole thing. So, all right, here's another one. You
Okay.
pay your mortgage faithfully, denying yourself the newest big screen TV, while your neighbor buys iPhones, wall-sized plasma, do-it-all TVs, and new cars, and then the government forgives their debt when they default on their mortgage. That annoys me too.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. My sister, I love my sister. They complain to me sometimes about how they have to watch their spending.
Right,
Then she comes out, she's got a new tablet,
right,
or they have this giant TV,
right.
and I'm like,
It's never big enough.
and I look at them and I'm like, this is so. Don't complain to me about how you have to
Yeah,
watch your
everything
budget.
is upside down.
How you have to watch your budget because you're buying. You just bought a house and you have to buy paint, and then return that stupid tablet. You don't need it. The only reason you spent $300 on that tablet is so you have a shut up device for your kids because you don't deal with them. That annoys me. I hope she doesn't. I hope they don't watch the show.
You better hope they don't watch the
I
show.
don't care.
Let me see.
Telling you the truth. My roommate said that my nephew should be a stand-up comic.
Oh, really?
Because he goes, I could just imagine him saying this. He goes, my parents sucked. They were the worst parents ever. But I'll tell you, my aunt raised me and she kicked my butt. Literally, she would kick my butt. Because I have physically taken my foot to that child's butt.
Well, sometimes they
Boom.
listen. Spare the rod and spoil the child. You know, a lot of those sayings come from reality, because and we're not and I don't want any emails on this. Okay, we're not talking about abuse. We're not talking about beatings. We're not talking about tying them to a post and beating them with a stick. What we're talking about is a pat on the butt at an age when that's the only thing they can understand, and a tap on the butt at an early age prevents you from having to beat them up when they're teenagers. And Dr. Carson said the best, and when he said, the people that you reach while they're young are people you don't have to protect yourself from later on when they get older.
I've spanked my nephew. I have spanked him in public. We were at
Yeah, but you mean you didn't hurt him, you didn't cause him bodily harm, you're just teaching
No,
him.
he screamed out really loud. And
Yeah, but
hurt my
they
hand
do
afterwards,
that. They do that, but that's because more of the shock than anything else.
But then I can tell you though, he's never done that again. Like whatever,
Bingo.
He he's learned.
You might have saved him from a life of crime.
Yeah, you pay attention to me.
Yes.
Like you don't wander around and look at everything. Like yes, you can look at things, but then you have to also pay attention to me because that was his other thing. He doesn't pay attention to his surroundings.
What time is it?
10:04.
10:04. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, was the word of the week.
Respect.
And the word of the week was respect, and you got it because you just summed it up just about perfectly. Because, and it's funny, I think sometimes people, and we talked about this too, they want to do the right thing. They're not always sure. Kids don't come with a manual. We've talked about that.
And they don't know what the right thing is because...
And they love them and they
Yeah.
want to love them, but they fail to realize that part of being a parent is being a disciplinarian.
Mm-hmm.
You have to teach your kids. You just don't dump it on the school and say, hey, send him back to me when he knows everything. Let me see if I can find something. If in the nation's largest city you can buy two 16-ounce colas, but not a 24-ounce soda, because 24 ounces of sugary drink might make you fat,
I think that one's been repealed.
I think that the court said that he couldn't do
Yeah.
it. Mayor Bloomberg, may you never be in office again, because what your Napoleonic complex is starting to show. You're starting to think these are your children, not people that you are. You are mayor of the city of New York. You are not a demagogue. You are not a czar. You are not a king or any of those dictator things. You're none of those things. You're just a man who has a job, and if you were a quarter of the mayor that Rudy Giuliani was, the city would be better than it is today. And I don't mean you any direct offense, but I'm just saying, the things that you are doing, you do not have the authority to do. You're taking it on yourself. And I hope it all gets repealed. Let me say,
Yeah, I
what's
think
it?
that soda one's been repealed. I like this one. It says, a 7-year-old boy can be thrown out of school for saying his teacher is cute, but hosting a sexual exploration or diversity class in grade school is perfectly acceptable.
Yes.
I can say
What
I
is
don't
that?
quite know what that is about. There must have been something in the news or somewhere. But I know that there is sex ed.
And not just, I read the other day they're trying to get girls to do lesbian kisses in the classroom.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, why
Where
they-
are you reading that from?
I could show it to you. I show it to you right online, and it shows you the source. Okay, but I mean, what is going on with these schools? I'm telling you, these schools are out of control, and I'm still off on Common Core, and I
got some email. Well, I'm on a mailing list. It's called Democrats for Education Reform.
Oh,
so I
sure.
know you just roll your eyes. But they there are 4 or 6 big people against that are most vocal about Common Core, and it turns out
Even Democrats?
No. These
Oh.
are the they're profiling these.
Of course.
They call them the far
Of course.
right
Of course they do.
wing
It's just
ones.
propaganda.
Well, I'll tell you,
You get the
Glenn
same thing
Beck-
from Goebbels.
Glenn Beck was one of them, and he is pretty far right when it comes to
Who
it.
cares
And
about his country?
he's pretty far right on a lot of things, and so I'm just
Only
a little,
because the left has tried to convince you that the center is someplace other than where it is. We are a center-right country.
I
We are
like
up here.
to think that I'm pretty centered. Okay.
Yeah, but you're not a left-wing nutcase.
No, but neither are you, and you're not a right wing
Nutcase,
nutcase
no.
either. But you seem
Yes,
to
but I believe-
soak in a lot of the right wing
But
nutcase.
no,
Propaganda.
because it's not extremism. It's just called extremism by a media and a Democratic Party who
Right.
has the media that works for them,
Wow.
trying to tell you something that isn't true. In other words, what they're doing is, here's the goalpost. And
I-
they're
I
trying
think,
to
you know-
say that the goalpost is here, which makes that further right. That's not where the goalpost is. The goalpost is here. We are a center right country. That's a fact of life. And they found out about that when they tried to do the gun stuff. Oh, no, can I do one? If an 80-year-old woman or a 3-year-old girl confined to a wheelchair can be strip searched by the TSA, but a woman in a hijab
Hijab.
whatever it's called.
Hijab.
It's an absolutely stupid thing. But a woman in one of those things is only subject to
Hijab.
having her neck and head searched. So I couldn't deal with that.
That would be,
I could not deal with that. I would be screaming
disagree.
bloody murder.
I am with you on that one. That, you know,
Enough of this. What
it's,
these two,
here's my thought, okay?
these Muslims think they're better than everybody else, and I'm got a flash
No,
for you.
it's not.
You're not.
It's not about the Muslim necessarily.
Muslim
Uh,
fanatics?
It's about people not wanting to piss off Muslims and then create more fanaticism. Do you know what I mean? Here's my.
I'm not
no,
going to
listen
live
to
in
me.
fear of these lousy
No,
guys.
here's what I'm saying. Is that if you're gonna strip search people, you strip search
Everybody.
every single person who wants to get on that plane. And I have no problem. You want me to stand in front of 2 female officers
Right.
naked and be
Right.
like, I've got nothing to hide?
Right.
I have nothing to hide.
Right. If you have nothing
If
to hide,
you
what's
have
the big
something
deal?
to hide, don't put your ass on a damn plane.
Yeah.
And I don't care what religion you are. I
Yeah, well,
don't
there's
care.
there's too
Because
much
you
of
know
this.
what then? If you're not gonna search a woman in a hijab,
Right.
then you better not be searching a pregnant woman either. You know, like.
Doesn't it seem no logical
But
to
I
them?
could easily put on a pregnant suit.
All right,
I
and
could
stuff it full of all
I
kinds of
could
crap.
Put whatever I want, and I could walk like I'm pregnant. If I go to a buffet, I
Right.
can walk like I'm pregnant. People will think I've gotten in front of bathroom lines. People thinking I'm pregnant just because I'm full.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
there's no. You can't. You either search everybody
Well,
and don't
that's
tell
the
me
point
it's
that he's
random,
making.
because it's not random.
It's not random. And the other thing too, let me
If
share
you
a
want it
thought.
to be random, then you give you people
You give them a number
a different
every
whole
6.
Everybody gets a number, and you don't even do every 6. You count to 4, you search person. You count to 10, you search a person. You count to 2, you search a person. You count to 15, you search a person.
Yeah,
You
it's
count to
got to be
100.
truly random.
Yes.
Well,
None of that.
You know, I forgot what I was going to say, but it's okay. If your government believes that the best way to eradicate trillions of dollars of debt is to spend trillions more,
That doesn't even make sense.
that's what just happened. We're in debt up to our kazoo, and this guy, who shall remain nameless so as to not put a stain on our television show, okay, went out and wasted more. Got nothing for it. Gave it to his friends. He clearly gave it to his friends. Nothing was done about it.
I read most of those. And other ones.
Oh no, look
I
at
don't-
if children are forcibly removed from parents who discipline them with spankings, while children of addicts are left in filth and drug-infested homes. Government plan for getting people back to work? Okay, if the government's plan for getting people back to work is to provide incentives for not working through 99 weeks of unemployment checks without any requirement to prove that they sought but couldn't find work. Let me tell you, when I was growing up, if you went on unemployment, every week you had to show up showing where you looked for work. And you had to get it signed. You had to get the book signed. I mean, you had to every single. Not anymore. We don't want to put too much pressure on everybody. And what are we getting? We're getting a crummy country. In exchange for all of these things, all these giveaways that these people have created, we are getting back crummy citizens and a less great country. And when it was happening by accident, when it was happening with good intentions, that was one thing. Now we live in a time when it's being done on purpose, because it's a way to degrade this country. And we now have an administration in office that wants to
This is stuff that you
degrade
can
this.
Fix. This is going to be stuff that you're going to fix.
Oh, you know, that's very sweet of you. I hope so. I hope you're absolutely right. I know it's not going to happen. But let's
I
hope
have
whoever
high
gets
hopes.
in helps.
I have high hopes.
Well, you know, I mean, it scares me how many people said they would
I really
vote for me.
I honestly haven't been paying close attention to politics, or a whole lot necessarily, because I just have had other things.
You've
on
had
my
other stuff on your
issues.
life. Well, okay. Oh, yes. Let me just tell you, because I didn't mention it before now. that this week, for respect, I have a song called No Free Transfers. And the point that it's trying to make, if you know how I come out of left field with some of these words, I'm talking about respect for life. Okay? Now, no free transfers is one way, but I mean, I respect all life. All life. I don't care if it's itsy bitsy spider or, big human being. I respect all life. I believe it's important to respect life. Okay? And in this song, No Free Transfers, what it's trying to point out is that there are no free transfers. You pay something for everything that you get in your life. Okay? You either give something up, or you get something, or you do something, or somebody does something to you, and you learn that lesson. So there are no free transfers. And the other thing I was trying to get across when I'm talking about having respect for life is you may not do everything you want to. I always felt, when I was younger, I wanted to do all this and that and the other thing. La la la. You listen to all my songs and hear all this nonsense. Okay, but the point that I was trying to make was that, you know what? If you can accept your life and just respect your life, if you can accept your life for what it is, it's fine. Okay, you're not going to go everywhere. You have to accept the fact that you're not going to go anywhere, every single place you want to go in life. You're not going to do every single thing you want to do in life. You're not going to be with every single person you want to be with in life.
Right.
If you can accept those three things, you've eliminated so much stress from your life. You've just taken it up. Ooh. Can I talk just what do I have? I only have a minute. We have to say goodbye. Listen, next week, I promise I will give you anxiety therapy, anxiety management. It's a great thing. It's been great for me, and maybe it'll be great for you too.
Buy America, do something good every day, and volunteer at your local animal shelter.
Bye.
See, I got the list, see, so. Isn't that? See, when I was 22, I used to have the list here on the guitar. I could have a couple of words. Boy, I knew exactly what the hell I'm doing. I'm 59 years old. I have to walk over there with a cane. But, what's now, I have to say something. There's all just adults here, right? Okay, now listen. I want to say, because we got to get serious just for a second. Men, I guess that's not politically correct anymore. Okay, men and women, those that have the most peace in their life, I have found through a very harrowing realization. Those that have the most happiness have accepted the fact that they are not going to know, in the biblical sense, every other person they want to. Okay. Am I getting through? Okay, can I talk about it? Once they accept that they are not going to know, and as a boy, as a young man, accepting the reality that I was not going to know every beautiful girl I was ever going to meet. Can you imagine the crisis that was? I mean, serious, I had really repercussions, I mean, it took a long time. Now, but you know what goes with that? Accepting the fact that you're not going to go every place you want. And then the next one is accepting the fact that you're not going to do everything you want, okay? Wow, look at that, the big three, you know? But you know something? Life can still be pretty wonderful. So, I'm on 23rd Street, and we're doing a television show, and we have the credit card for the cameras, and the money that we borrowed to make the show. And we're going to go around the city. I did this with Bill Porter. We're going to go around New York City, and we're going to shoot the different windows. It's Christmas time. But in television land, you can't use two cameras unless they match. We called the engineer. He couldn't get them to match. And the problem was, you see, we still had the credit card, and we still had the money. And the problem was, what were we going to do with those two things? And I'm not the spendthrift I've learned to become. So we went down, we hailed the cab, we went to Walt Disney World. And on that trip, that's kind of irrelevant to the song. The song is called No Free Transfers. But the point was, it was on that trip that I learned that you don't know everybody you meet. You're not going to meet everybody you want to. You're not going to travel to every place you want. But it's okay. Starlight still reflecting
might stammer when I try to speak. I might stumble when I say they'll know no man is a wise man if he does not meet his friends. So remember, children, with every place you roam, you'll never be very far from home. No, you're never, ever very far from home. You're never, very far from home.
And sung by The Wizard.